Just 2 minutes gone in the first quarter. Ontario's ahead, 5-2. Clark at the line. Good for the second. Another substitution checking in, Bruce Williscroft from Sawasin, where that ferry terminal is to take you to the island over there in British Columbia. You ever been to British Columbia, Haley?
I haven't.
Come on. It's absolutely good. They call it beautiful British Columbia. The only team in the program, I believe, that took their team photo outside. Another turnover. Can Ontario benefit? Clark up, misses it, gets his own rebound, swarmed by 3 red jerseys. Fight for the ball is going to be a jump ball possession favoring British Columbia. They took their team photo outside just because it's so beautiful out there. Why would you not?
Definitely on the bucket list. You've been
multiple times. Kelowna, Vancouver, the island. Beautiful province. Got some good basketball as well. The Vancouver Bandits of the CEBL, top of the Western Conference this season. The three's off the mark. Here comes Badejo. 1-on-2, elevates, gets it through some contact, and maybe even a finger on the ball there from Logan Spack.
So Badejo's been on the Team Ontario radar for a while. Last year, I believe being an alternate, didn't end up playing for them, but he's got a lot of chemistry with this team.
Spack knocks down the 3 from the top side. Deo's looking for some movement from some teammates. Uses the screen, working back to the left. Tries to draw the foul. Nothing there. Turnover. And we get our first substitutions for Team Ontario. Nicholas Woodrich checks in along with Elijah Hammond. Teammates at UPlay Canada in the summer. So familiarity on the floor from a lot of the players in terms of their summer clubs and even some of their school clubs. Yusri Salia back as the head coach of Team Ontario.
Well, and with Woodridge, he's one of the guys from Royal Crown. That's definitely one of the stronger presences on this team, a lot of them playing with each other for school as well.
Williscroft drains the 3 from the corner. The late contest from Stroman. It's looking like part of the defensive strategy for Ontario right now is going to have to be run BC off the line. Dale looks for a lane, kicks it to Clark. Clark downhill, tries to dump it off to Stroman. Couldn't corral it. Now backing down Williscroft. Entry passes there. Second chance opportunity, third chance opportunity, fourth chance opportunity, and that's too many offensive rebounds in a row. If you're BC's head coach, that needs to be cleaned up at the next timeout.
Absolutely, and if you're Ontario, you know that that's going to be one of their main points of we got to fix that. So they can't be taking 4 tries to get that basket and planting your feet, getting one good, really strong try to get up to the net. All 4 of those shots were off balance there. Obviously getting the result they wanted, but I don't think they'll get those 4 chances again.
Nathan Rudnick checks into the game alongside Jalen Shepard. Rudnick comes from a basketball family. His older brother Ryan played at the University of Toronto. So did his mother. Sister plays as well. Dad, former player. You just have those families kind of where there's one sport that everybody just gravitates to. Obviously comes from the parents, and then the oldest sibling gets involved, and the younger ones just follow those footsteps.
Once the oldest one does, you don't really got a choice. Everyone follows.
Here's Woodrich. The shifty guard. Tries to shake the primary defender, and Spack has to pull it back out. 10 on the shot clock. Woodrich working right, hands it off to Rudnick. Shepard now moving into the paint, loses it. Foul on the play. It's going to be a side out. 3rd team foul for British Columbia. So Shepard to trigger on the baseline. 2-point lead for Ontario. Almost halfway through the first quarter. Rudnick, top side, no hesitation. Bottom. A little bit of a trap here. Ontario putting the pressure on. Nothing going easy for British Columbia. Julka into the paint, elevates off glass, no good. Offensive rebound, this time British Columbia throws it up. Rudnick snatches the board, finds Woodrich. Shepard into the paint, blocked. There's going to be a foul on the play. It's going to go against Elijah Hammond, and that'll be the Team Ontario's first foul. Lead is up 5 now. Team Ontario ahead, 4:56 left in the first quarter here at the Ontario Tech University and Durham College. Great host for a week of exciting basketball. We appreciate you tuning in on this holiday Monday, wherever you're tuning in from. Canada Basketball on YouTube is where you can catch all the action all week long. Julka working on with far side 3, front iron, offensive rebound, British Columbia. Second chance, no good. Williscroft, top side. Julka puts the shoulder in, can't find space. Back cuts there. Another 3, not going to go. Rebound, controlled and then lost. And that falls into the hands of Spack, who drains it from 2. So Lucas Spack getting some scoring done here for British Columbia early.
Yeah, he was a first-team All-Star in 2024 BC Sports Junior Boys Provincials. He's got a lot of familiarity playing on these big teams and these big moments like this, so I anticipate seeing a lot of him pulling up in some clutch moments just like he did.
Woodrich from 3 off the front iron. Loose ball falls into the hands of Shepard. Shepard puts the moves on, working downhill. Elevates. No friendly bounce. Second chance opportunity again. It's Hammond putting it back for Ontario. Quick into the front court now. Williscroft turns, fires, misses. Last touch by Ontario. It will stay with British Columbia. Seva checks back in for BC from North Saanich. Here he is inside, met at the summit. And the second foul on Team Ontario is going to go on Rudnick.
Rudnick's going to be great to watch throughout this tournament for Team Ontario, shooting those threes. He already had that one great one earlier. That's really his specialty here. He plays for Bill Crothers, Canada Junior Academy in 2024, and it's so crazy because obviously this is a U15 age group here, grade 8s and grade 9s, but they're already being scouted, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's one of the top standout grade 9 players in the country right now. A lot of posts going towards him. He gets a lot of attention just from these big moments. Of course, a flashier player with some crazy threes, but I think that's what they're going to be leaning on him a lot too.
Team Ontario going with the guard-heavy play all the way to the rack. Couldn't throw it down with Shepard. More second chance opportunities. BC turn it over. And Yusri Salia, head coach of Team Ontario, also coach at Bill Crothers, so has that, connection with Rudnick.
Right, and that'll make it easier for Rudnick in this tournament because he already has that level of comfortability with the head coach here. So he'll probably be more likely to shoot that 3.
Ontario to inbound, finds its way to Osagi. He gives it up to Rudnick, who does not hesitate again. That one's just a little too strong. Offensive rebound and put back. Elijah Hammond cleaning up the glass, getting extra points for Team Ontario, who are up 6, 2:52 left in the opening 10. British Columbia with the response, no. Rebound into the hands of Izogi Ahikamatalor, no good. Second chance, also no good. Loose ball. Walters. Gonna set it back up, get into a half-court offense. Foul called on Logan Spack. That's British Columbia's 4th foul. They are out of fouls to give. 2:33 left in the first. Coming up next, Team Quebec taking on Team Alberta. Will be on the call for that as well. All 4 teams playing in Pool A this year. Tough pool to be in.
Definitely.
Walters to the rack with an acrobatic finish. Ontario with the press. British Columbia have a 3-on-2. They're going to kick it out and then kick it back to the top, resetting. Ahika Metalor last to touch it. Will stay with British Columbia. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Side out of bounds. Here's Spotkin. Dillon to Spotkin. The 3 on the shot clock elevates. No good. Rebound Walters. Was already past the timeline. He sends Badeo to the corner. There's the handoff. Ekametalor dancing around the perimeter, trying to find a lane. A little too much physicality there for Julka. Ahika Metalor will go to the free throw line. As Ontario into the bonus. The first falls through. The same result on the second, 10-point lead for Team Ontario. Errant buzzer from the scores table. We will play on. And Ontario, with that pressure, gets an 8-second violation.
Well,
I wonder if that errant buzzer didn't really...
that might have rattled BC a little bit there, but we also saw Team Ontario just put on a great amount of pressure right there. It seems like that's usually a strategy they go with nearing the end of these kind of final stretches, the last minute, 23 seconds here, that they push really hard to try to put that extra pressure on them, and it worked out.
They did it in spurts last year. Maybe this year they're trying to do it for all 40.
Yeah.
A couple of those games last year came really close, especially against British Columbia and Alberta.
Yeah, Alberta was big competition for them last year.
The up and under scoop from Brandon Clark. The rebounding machine adds 2 more to Ontario's total. Here's Hetherington. Gives it back up to Spotkin. Working to his right. Met by Clark. Kicks it out. Julka for 3. No. Long rebound. Julka corrals it. Heads back into the paint. A little too strong. Second chance opportunities not going to go in for Spotkin, and here comes Ontario. Badeo into the front half. Left-handed scoop, too strong. Dillon kicks it to the corner. Hetherington 3 is bottom. The shot clock is turned off. Ontario can have the last possession if they want it and if they take care of the ball. Up by 9, looking to add to that lead before the first quarter comes to an end. Ahika Metalor, some contact, doesn't get it to go. 3 seconds. Julka's going to have to half-court heave it. It'll count if it goes off to the right. Through 10 minutes of play, Team Ontario ahead 23-14 here at the Ontario Tech University for the Canadian National Basketball Champions. We'll take a quick break and be back with second quarter action. Stay with us. we get set for second quarter action here between Team Ontario and Team British Columbia, the biggest stat that stands out to me, Haley, is the amount of rebounds for Ontario. 14 offensive, 7 defensive. And British Columbia have only 14 total.
Right. They're completely getting out-rebounded. And the thing is underneath, I mean on both sides for sure, but underneath Ontario's basket, once a shot goes up, it gets very messy under there in the paint. Bodies flying everywhere, and no one can just seem to grab that ball, and it usually ends up in an Ontario player around the 3. They're not pulling it there. It usually goes back into the paint, but cleaning that up for both teams is going to be really important. Obviously, on the other side, British Columbia having a little bit of an easier job getting into the paint, I would say, for their offense, but their shots just are not falling right now. They're 5 for 20.
Badeo from deep, no, that's not going to fall. The other stat that I saw, Ontario 1 assist on 8 field goals made. Obviously, a lot of those field goals coming from the offensive rebound.
Right.
But a little more ball movement might be beneficial for Ontario.
Yeah, I'd definitely say so too, especially British Columbia is having a very strong defense right now.
Looking inside, that pass deflected off of the shin of Stroman and out of bounds. So Stroman trying to get positioned inside using his 6'9" frame. But nothing there. They're hedging that, British Columbia is, and not giving him any space. Wide open. Sevilla waits, pulls it. That misses everything. And trying to save it. Badeo had a foot out of bounds. Maybe that's when you just kind of let bounce out of bounds on a missed shot like that. Spack picks it up, looks inside for Marcus Tyler. Back to Spack. Back iron. Rebounded in the key from Hetherington. Back outside. Shpotkin, mid-range, no good. Ahika Metalor turns it over. Sevilla, back iron, not going to fall. Fight for the loose ball. Saved, but right to the hands of Shpotkin, who misses the pull-up Jimmy from the baseline, gets the second chance. That one's not going to go either. Fight for the ball. Jump ball possession favoring British Columbia.
Yeah, that wasn't a great sequence there for Ontario. It also looked like it came down to 2 Ontario players. I thought they got the jump ball call against each other there.
Quick substitution in this quarter for head coach Yusri Salih as Nicholas Woodrich comes back into the game. Baseline out of bounds, British Columbia. It's going to be Shpotkin to trigger. Ontario making it difficult, but they do get it into Spack. Picked up by Clark. Clark doing a good job of making Spack feel uncomfortable, and he creates a turnover.
Oh, yeah, from the very beginning, Clark had him on locks that entire play. Ontario always does a good job in inbounding in situations like that of following the player, not always the ball, which I think really works to their benefit, especially in a situation like that.
Woodrich poking and prodding. Finds Stroman inside. Stroman through some contact, gets it to go. So there's assist number 2 for Team Ontario. More pressure. Back and forth we go. Almost turned over as Marcus Tyler able to keep it alive. Finds Spack. Spack fouled on the 3-point attempt. So 3 free throws upcoming for Logan Spack out of North Vancouver.
This is only BC's second trip to the line here. Didn't have any space to land on that shot. And quickly, only a couple minutes in here, the rebounding has kind of leveled out a fair amount. Ontario 23 altogether, BC with 19. I think BC's huddle in between those 2 quarters was definitely productive there.
That had to be top of the list of things to concentrate on to get them to the half.
Yeah.
Within striking distance, if not the lead, for British Columbia. Here's Walters, splits 2, little out of control, gets the step through and the roll. Devontae Walters. Turnover, quickly to Walters, elevates and lays it in. Team Ontario is absolutely hunting these inbound passes, putting pressure on the ball and helping exactly where they need to be. Back inside. Nice dish. Shpotkin finishes at the rim. Turnover on the inbound pass. Team Ontario. 11-point lead now for the guys in white. All the way to the top. Nathaniel Osei-Boadu turns it over. Nicholas Woodrich with one to beat. Blocked at the top, but there to follow the play and finish it off was Praise Badeo. Turned over again. Here's Walters. Hung up from Clark, his own teammate. Had not much to go with. Came up empty-handed. Shpotkin blocked at the top. Contact on the follow-through, so more upcoming free throws for British Columbia. Jordan Osage takes the foul. Team Ontario going to take a timeout here. Lead stretched up 31-18, but still not seeing exactly what he wants to see as Yusri Salia, the head coach of Team Ontario, going to talk things over, get back to the basics.
Right, a lot of these drives to the basket Ontario's doing don't always seem like they're necessarily the correct play, especially when they're going in and they're just outnumbered in the paint. But seeing right there Nicholas Woodrich obviously didn't have a strong take there, but Praise Badejo cleaning it up. They've been called the greatest grade 8 duo together. And they're both heavily scouted already, and I'm really excited to be able to see the two of them play together and see how their chemistry works. We're already seeing glimpses of it, just like that previous play I was just talking about, but I think both teams still making some sloppy errors here, like turning it over on the inbounds just by accidentally stepping in a little bit too quick. Cleaning that up obviously could be a little bit of nerves here, first day of Nationals. Their pool is definitely going to be very intimidating coming into Nationals. But both teams definitely still doing a good job here. Those shots are going to start to fall. BC's 6 for 27 right now. They're not having too much luck here. And they are 3 for 13 from the three, which that's a great sign there. Ontario's 1 for 5. And I'm assuming when we start to see Nathan Rudnick come out a little bit more, we're going to see some more threes start to fly. But aside from that, it doesn't seem like anyone on Team Ontario is like prioritizes the three-point shot.
No, the Team Ontario is looking for the best look, and they understand that paint touches result in drawing in the defense, and if you can kick it back out, those threes will be open. British Columbia having a hard time getting it to the timeline.
Yeah.
Once they get it over, they do have that 3-on-2 kind of power play opportunity, but they're resetting back at the top, which then you only have about 13, 14 seconds left on the shot clock, and that makes it even more difficult. The missed free throw, rebound snatched by Team Ontario. 7:05 left until halftime. Badeo working left, gets to the rack, leaves it short. Rebound from Hetherington. British Columbia pushing the pace the other way. Shpotkin. That pass to no one. Badeo tracks it down. Almost stripped, sticks with it, gets it off glass for two. Shpotkin gives it up. Woodrich with the snatch. The underhand pass. The hesitation, no good. Second chance, no good. Shepard going to kick it back out. Badeo for three. Off the iron. And that's out of bounds. British Columbia ball.
I like that approach from Ontario much better there, kicking it out at that point. They had 3 Ontario guys around the perimeter while every single BC player was in the paint, so that was smart.
British Columbia still having a hard time getting it out of the backcourt. Over the timeline, but they do secure the ball. Shot clock malfunction is going to stop the game here. So they'll get that sorted. British Columbia ball on the sideline. And right as we talk about him, Rudnick comes into the game. Trying to stretch the floor a little bit more, perhaps, for Elijah Hammond or Jordan Osagi. Top side, Mason Knorr directing traffic now, the 5'8" point guard out of Langley. Here's Julka, makes the move, elevates, and finishes. Woodrich gets by Knorr, kicks it to the corner. Shepard for a three. That rims around and into the hands of Julka. Hetherington ahead to Spack. Tries to split the defense, gets stripped. Osagi working down the right-hand side, fouled on the steal attempt from Spack. And that's his second. At this point in the first quarter, British Columbia had about 3 team fouls, so they've been a little bit more disciplined.
Yep.
They've been doing a better job on the boards. It just hasn't turned into many points. Still stuck. 12 here, 5:26 left in the opening half. Hikamet Delore, far side. Gives it back to the middle. Here's Shepard. Elevates from the free throw line through contact. And Mason Knorr is going to take the foul. British Columbia's second in the quarter.
Limiting these turnovers and mistakes for BC is definitely crucial, because you can just see how much better and more composed they look playing when they can cut off Ontario's transition and really set up. I think their defensive pressure has been great so far. They play really far out to them, not letting Ontario have nearly any space. And we've seen them do a great job of crashing the boards when there is that one Ontario player kind of separating and then cutting into the net. So limiting their own mistakes that force Ontario to go into transition is definitely going to be their key, just like here.
Yep, turned over again. Brandon Clark, the recipient of great effort from Jalen Shepard, making Mason Knorr turn that over. Timeout on the floor. 5:04 left in the second quarter as we step aside for a quick break. More action coming your way from the Ontario Tech University. You're watching the Canadian National Basketball Championships on Canada Basketball on YouTube. .504 left to play in the opening half. Team Ontario taking on Team British Columbia. Kenyon St. Louis in the chat, getting some love. He's going to be playing for the 17U team this year at the Canada Games next week out in Newfoundland and Labrador. Check that out as well. That is going to be some stiff competition as Ontario looks to go back-to-back at the 17U level as well.
It was such an entertaining team last year. Can only imagine it's going to be even more entertaining this year.
British Columbia, another 8-second violation. So one in each quarter so far, and you can see the entire bench for Team Ontario excited about that. And if they can continue to do that, I don't know how many teams are going to have a great chance at getting points on every possession. If you can't get over the timeline, it's going to be tough. They have a sound system to preventing that. Right to the rack, Jalen Shepard.
Yeah, and it's not that BC doesn't have the greatest press break. It's not too bad. They're running a very basic one, just trying to, of course, move the ball forward. It's that Ontario's so good at putting that pressure on.
Quickly into the front court, Brandon Clark slows it up, pulls it back, gets by his defender off the glass and in. Hetherington. Here we go. British Columbia has that 3-on-2. Schmack turns it over. Hahika Metalor drops it off. Clark throws it down. And British Columbia call it timeout. It's a 20-point game, 4:02 left until the halftime. Team Ontario asserting their dominance early in this tournament.
I'm sure you can imagine BC right now is going over this press break here. That's way too many times they've been caught, and like the play we just saw, they can get it past the timeline, but then they're turning it over immediately because Ontario's doing such a great job of getting back, so that when the ball is eventually pushed forward, they're running into 3 Ontario players in their own paint. And yeah, Ontario's forced 13 BC turnovers. Ontario has 4. Even that, you can still imagine with just the discipline they have. They're still going to be talking about those 4 turnovers, but BC right now is just the lack of execution here when they are able to get it over that timeline.
Devontae Walters and Brandon Clark have 10 points apiece to lead Team Ontario. It's Schmack on the other side with 7. And Spotkin with 5. Scoring by committee for Team Ontario. Logan Schmack trying to keep his teammates motivated as he daps up Julka. Plenty of basketball to be played. Anything can happen. 4:02, 22-point lead. BC doing a better job. Julka now, far side. Nice attack to the paint. Sevilla, no. Saved by Clark. Rudnick on the far side for Walters. Into the paint, dumps it off. The finish not there, but the putback by Shepard, who cleans up his own miss. Schmack, one dribble to the right, 3, not gonna fall. Clark with the rebound. He's got Rudnick to his left. He's gonna wait. They're setting up in the half court. Shepard has it top side, picked up by Osei Boadu. Doing a good job staying in front of him. Last touched by Shepard. So that defensive stand there by Nathaniel Osei Boadu creating a turnover for Ontario. Good on-ball defender.
Yeah, I think BC as a whole, they've been doing a great job of that. And so for Ontario, I can't imagine they're going to want to be slowing the pace down of these games.
Logan Schmack drains it from 3. And it's not really like British Columbia needs to go for the 3-pointer every time down the court. But if you're left open and that's the good look of the offensive possession, you got to take it. Clark finds a lane, gets to the rack. Too easy for Brandon Clark.
12 points for him. He's leading Team Ontario. He's been extremely impressive in this first half so far, doing a little ball handling as well. He's really doing everything.
Schmack calling it out, wants the screen from Sevilla. Turns it over, gets it back. The kick out. The 3 from Julka, that's not going to fall. Under the basket for the second chance opportunity was Osei Boadu. And he'll go to the line. Ontario's 13th foul of the quarter. Rudnick's second of the game. 2:15 left until halftime. 47-24 Ontario with a commanding lead. The 2-for-2 trip to the line for Osei Boadu. Coming out of Burnaby, British Columbia. Hahika Metalor. Working to the right, looking for a lane. Stops, Comes back, gives it up to Woodrich. 9 seconds on the shot clock. Woodrich from just inside the three-point line leaves it short. Julka saves it. Quick ahead now. That pass intended for Hetherington was a hair out of reach.
Yeah.
Walters to trigger on the sideline.
Well, we saw it last play, seeing it here as well. BC trying to put the same type of pressure. They're just not double teaming, and doesn't look like they're attempting to trap at all.
Woodrich, back top side. Stroman for three. Bottom from the big man. 6'9" center out of Port Dover with no hesitation. Osei Bodu finds Hetherington, who finds Dillon. The three out of the hands of Hetherington, no. Now it's Woodrich to the middle of the court. Puts on the move. Walters. Looking for Stroman inside. Stroman one-on-one with Osei Bodu. The double comes, and Julka knocks it out of bounds. Willis Croft coming back into the game. And Ontario's going to call a timeout with 1 minute and 1 second remaining in the opening half. Ontario have a 50-piece on the board.
That happened really quick there.
Shooting 40% from the field on 50 attempts, holding British Columbia to just 33 field goal attempts. They've only made 8.
Yeah, and it's difficult for them. Like, their shots are just not going in because it's not the quality of shots that they really want here. They're shooting a lot of threes. They've had 18 three-point attempts. It doesn't look like in a game where the field goals aren't landing that it should be going for those threes. And like you said, those usually are the shots that are open, but that's just because Ontario's done a great job of forcing them to take those shots. They're 4 for 18. It doesn't seem like this is the team that wants to be taking those threes either. Yeah, it's difficult here, and to not be 100% from the free throw line as well. They're 6 for 9, giving up those 3 points there. You never want to be able to do that, especially when you're struggling in the shooting department of the game in general.
No, that's when you want to get to the free throw line. See those free throws go through and hope that the rack just looks a little bit bigger when you're shooting those threes. Walters to trigger from the baseline. Quick in. Papari looking for Stroman inside. There's a foul on the floor. British Columbia's third foul of the quarter. Joka gets his second personal foul on the push. So Walters to trigger again, this time from the sideline. In trouble, Woodrich comes to relieve the pressure. Takes it back top side, 8 seconds on the shot clock. Stroman sets the screen, Woodrich ignores it, looking for the dump off. Walters with the loose ball, elevates, and with the finger roll finish, Walters has basically a highlight pack of his own from this half.
Yeah.
Julka, double teamed, back to the top side. Swing, extra pass to the corner. Osei Bodu, too strong. Woodrich into the front court, gives it up to Walters. Keeps the dribble alive, elevates, and another 2 points. The 4-0 run for Walters. 15 seconds left until halftime. Julka picked up by Walters. Kicks it back to the top side, and British Columbia do not get a shot off before the halftime. It's a 30-point lead after 20 minutes of play here at the Ontario Tech University. Team Ontario ahead of Team British Columbia in this, the third game of the day. We'll step aside for halftime and get you set for second half action in a few short minutes. Stay with us. You're watching the Canadian National Basketball Championships on Canada Basketball's YouTube page. Welcome back inside the Ontario Tech University Gymnasium. J.J. Evison alongside Haley Hopkinson here for Team Ontario taking on Team British Columbia at the Canadian National Basketball Championships 15U. Ontario ahead 54-26 at the half thanks to Cavante Walters' 14 points and 4 rebounds. Adjustments at the half for British Columbia. Haley, what is the top two that you're really hoping to see some changes here in the next 20 minutes?
Well, I think we already started to see glimpses of it in the second quarter there, but limiting those turnovers. They're at 15, double digits of those were racked up in the first quarter, which obviously put them in quite the deficit early on in this game. So limiting those turnovers, which just means slowing it down. It's difficult against a really fast-paced team of Ontario, but BC's trying to play to their pace rather than play their own game right now, and that's why they're messing up so much. So that, and it's also very stressed on that press break. I think that's definitely got to be what they were focusing the most on during that break. I assume they're drawing up more plays. Of course, they came into Nationals definitely with a press break, but you don't know what to expect when you get here, right? So maybe it's either drawing up a new one or going over it more in depth, because that's really the root of all these problems. It starts there. It leads to turnovers. It leads to Ontario on the transition, racking up the score even more.
And for Ontario, they have 44 of their 52 field goal attempts coming from the two-point area. Do you expect British Columbia to try and shore up some of that and leave them open on the three-point line? Or are you expecting them to continue to run them off that three-point line as we see the mid-range from Walters off the mark?
Well, I think it's difficult here because after Ontario came back from their locker room break, they're all out here and every single one of them is shooting and nailing threes. So we know that they can do that, but I think obviously it's so difficult in the paint here. We have Clark and Walters combining for 26, all coming from the paint. That's the same amount that Team BC has in general in this whole game. So I think definitely you got to push them out a little bit more and just hoping that the pressure that they can apply, staying really close onto them, leads to some mistakes from Ontario.
Quick release from Spotkin, and that three falls through. The other thing that Ontario has going for them is their speed. They can turn the corner and get to the open lane in the blink of an eye, as you see Badeo get to the rack and finish with the right. Spotkin turns just inside the three-point line. That misses everything with plenty of time left on the shot clock. And if you're head coach Graham Bonar, Rupi Dahia and Paul Wright, the three of them together, got to come up with a response here in the second half that sees your team cut this lead. So we get a hold on British Columbia. So the first foul coming really early, just a minute and 9 seconds into this second half.
Well, it was like that first quarter. Second quarter was definitely more disciplined. I think the key offensive-wise when it comes to shot quality, it's going to be finding things other than a three-pointer to shoot for BC.
The three is a little too strong out of the hands of Walters. Head coach Bonar instructing his team to elevate vertically. No need to reach forward in some of those instances there. Loose ball. Ontario come away with it. It's a 3-on-1. Blocked at the top. The contact on the head. Logan Schmack picks up his third foul.
Yeah, he's one of their biggest keys. He's leading them in points with 10, racking up those fouls. Not great coming from him, and in a situation like that, they know what Clark can do. He's done it this entire game, so in those moments, being a little more disciplined, probably not worth the foul there.
Clark rattles one through. So free throws 9 and 10 here for Team Ontario. Clark with the first miss. Rebound. put back from Cavante Walters, who's got his fingerprints all over this game. British Columbia having a hard time finding a lane to the inside. Clark staying with his assignment step for set. Backdoor cut, turn around, too strong. Stroman with the rebound. Video with the right hand, can't get it to fall. British Columbia will have possession on the baseline. As Clark ties his shoe. Pair of substitutions for Ontario, Nicholas Woodrich and Jalen Shepard checking into the game. Over the timeline now. Shot fake, one dribble to the right. Off the mark. Rebound Team Ontario. Here's Woodrich over the timeline. Far side. Pulls it back out. It's a 5-out offense for Ontario. Movement now on the top side. An open lane, kick to the corner. Badeo for three, back iron. Rebound corralled by Osagi. Tries to spin into the lane, blocked at the top. Hetherington with it. Another 8-second violation, the third in this contest.
Yeah, their press break has not improved from the first half to the second. I think one of the main issues we're seeing is they're just going between two players here when Ontario has three guys pressing them. They need to get the other guys more involved and not just be waiting near the basket. They can't be anywhere near the paint at that point because they're not being involved in the play at all, and we're seeing too many turnovers come from that.
Elijah Hammond checks in for Ontario. Kabir Dillon in for British Columbia. Woodrich, top side. Shifty, into the lane. Mid-range floater, no good. But there for the second chance opportunity was Shepard. Couldn't complete the play. Here's Dillon now over the timeline. He's going to pull it back out. Find Hetherington. Whipped it topside, Sevilla. 7 seconds on the shot clock. Hunter Siebert finds Sevilla, turns, shoots, no good. Offensive rebound, Marcus Tyler. Tyler gets it again, can't get it to fall. Third chance opportunity for Hunter Siebert. That's no good. Woodrich, far side, traipsing down, elevates off glass, rolls it through. 61-28, 6 minutes left in the third quarter. Ontario with a commanding lead. Nice pick and roll, couldn't complete the pass. Loose ball finds Woodrich, and he finds Shepard, who elevates through some contact, finishing with the left. Hetherington, double teamed, turns it over. Was looking for Benjamin Sevilla to come back towards the timeline and accept that pass. William Bapari checks in alongside Nathan Rudnick. Ahi Kametolor also coming into the game for Team Ontario. Balshan Dhaliwal checking in for British Columbia. Big number 26-6 point forward out of Vancouver. Assigned to cover the 6'10 point forward from Brampton, William Bapari. Nice stutter step. Jalen Shepard to the rack for 2. Shot is up, but off the mark. Dollywall fouled on the offensive rebound.
Well, that was a much better press break there, using the third guy, getting it down the sideline there, but then to pull up for the 3 when you technically do have the man advantage. It's those little things where recognizing that, where you do have the advantage. We know Team Ontario is a very quick team, but the last thing they need to be doing is shooting more 3s.
Another quick foul on Team Ontario. That's the 3rd team foul on the drive by Sevilla. Hammond picks up his 3rd. And Mahir Julka comes back in, so beefing up the front court from British Columbia. Some more size. Try and get those offensive rebounds. Pass intended for Kabir Dillon, knocked out of bounds by Rudnick. He's got those long arms. Hands in the passing lanes. Deflections, creating less opportunity for British Columbia. Julka out at the 3-point line, puts a shoulder down. Stepping out of bounds was Ren Hetherington as he faded to the corner. Got to be aware of where your feet are at all times.
Got 20 turnovers now for BC.
So 5 in the quarter. And they continue to pile up. Ahika Metalor hands it off. Shepard spins, looking for the dump off down low to Hammond. Pass too hot to handle. Julka playing give and go with Hetherington. Hetherington into the lane. Tried to go for the scoop score. That was swatted away by Bopari.
Well, this press break is definitely working better for BC right now. They're matching the same amount of players Ontario's putting on them, and they're moving a lot quicker, less passes, and covering more ground. It is unfortunate it's taken that long to kind of figure that out, because now they're in quite the deficit here, but now that that part is tackled, I think now it comes down to finding better shot qualities, and it comes down to assisting on more of these. Like you were mentioning earlier in the game, now there's 5 assists for Ontario. There's only 4 for BC here, shooting 20% from field goal.
Hammond elevates off glass and through. Ahika Metalor disrupts that. Pass intended for Julka with a kickball. Still 24 on the shot clock. They got to reset that, so it will remain 24. And there's some of that speed. Now it's a 3-on-2. What do they decide to do? Kick it back out. Mason Knorr fouled on the 3-point attempt. Ahika Metalor drive by, contact on the arm. So Mason Knorr, the 5'8" point guard out of Langley, British Columbia, will head to the line. Ontario now out of fouls to give in the quarter, 3:46 remaining. Physicality will be essential for British Columbia. They got to get to this free throw line, continue to see easy buckets with the clock stopped.
They got to commit to that transition. They were so close to going in, finding the lane. The lane wasn't necessarily 100% there, but the contact would have been. But they pull it out and go for a 3. They still got the contact, but that would have been a great example of how they can start pushing this pace for transition buckets.
Another finish at the rack for Jalen Shepard. Turnover. Rudnick finds Ahika Metalor, elevates, contact from Julka. And upcoming free throws for Team Ontario, 11 and 12. So Julka gets his 3rd personal foul. He joins Spack with 3.
So only 4 points for BC in this quarter so far. I think they really got to lean in on pushing the transition and trying to get contact, if not a good shot.
Another 1-for-2 trip to the line, so Ontario shooting 10 for 12 now from the free throw line. Lead is up to 40. BC have to get it over, and they do in the nick of time. Julka dances, stolen by Shepard, who's got a lane. He elevates, and it's a two-handed jam for Jalen Shepard.
So effortless there. He committed to the steal. It was like just a tiny little flick, and it led to all that. He's a very talented player who can seriously do a bit of everything.
A warning has been issued to the Team Ontario bench for excessive celebration. Julka ahead, finds Kabir Dillon. It's a tough shot to take. Loose ball into the hands of Hunter Siebert. Knocked out of bounds. It will be British Columbia ball on the baseline.
We saw a lot of this last year with all of the Team Ontario teams, which was just massive wins, big dominance, putting up these huge numbers on the board, and for this to not even be the end of the third quarter, 72 points, it looks like the vision has stayed the same for this squad.
Hammond staying with Julka step for step, changing the trajectory of that shot just enough. British Columbia will have it on the baseline. Mason Knorr to trigger. He finds Hunter Siebert, who takes one too many steps on the pass receipt. And the turnovers continue to pile up for British Columbia. Delore switches to the left. Tries to finish with the right. Rebound Hammond. He's going to dribble it back to the three-point line. The shot clock malfunction again. They're going to bring it down to 12. Rudnick accepts the pass. Finds Hammond. Uses his body to get inside. Now it's Shepard's opportunity from the free throw line. And the shooter's touch. When you're hot, you're hot.
Yeah.
Shepard up to 16 points now. He ties Walters for the lead in the game. Julka around Rudnick. 1-2 stepping off glass and sees that one through.
Yeah, that's a great take from him right there. If they can get some more of that going, he made his own space on that play. Just give it right back.
Jalen Shepard starting to turn some heads here. Plays with Canada Elite in the summertime. Obviously, they did a great job on the AAU circuit. Also plays for Crestwood Prep in the school year.
Yeah, and we know that Team Ontario and Crestwood both have the same expectations for winning, for excellence, so it's probably not much of a mentality switch for him at all.
Here he is again to the rack. Is anybody going to stop this guy? Quick across. Kabir Dillon. Almost loses it, picks it up. He's going to whip it far side. Julka. Dials it from deep. That's not going to go. Good rebound there from Hunter Siebert, who can't finish it. Shepard has a streaker. It's Hammond. And he elevates with the two-handed slam. Dillon with the step through, off glass. That's pretty. .35 seconds left in the third quarter. Ahika Metalor finds Rudnick on the wing. A little too strong. Battling for the loose ball, Elijah Hammond hits the deck. Your team's up 80-36, and the effort appreciated by the coaches there. What a quarter it has been for Jalen Shepard, who gets a little breather on the bench. Back in comes Gavante Walters.
You get 20 points for Shepard, and it all just seemed very effortless.
You take a look at his shot chart, and all his makes are within that semicircle.
Yeah.
He's getting right to the rack, uncontested, limited physicality. He's got 2 missed three-point attempts. Everything else below the free throw line. Here's Knorr. Gets around one, kicks it to the corner. Hunter Siebert. Shot clock violation. Didn't hear a single player calling it down from the British Columbia bench.
No, and that's absolutely on the bench. That's those little turnovers where everyone just needs to really focus in on this game. Yeah, you're down by, 44 now? It doesn't matter. It's the start of Nationals. It's about setting the tone for what your team is going to give you for the rest of the week. And we know that they're in a very difficult pool. It's going to be a battle for all of these teams, but those little mistakes like that just shows cracks in the teams too early.
Ontario ahead by 44, 10 minutes left to play in this game. We're going to step aside for the intermission break. You're watching the Canadian National Basketball Championships from Ontario Tech University. Stick with us. More action coming up after the break. Back inside the Ontario Tech University Gymnasium, J.J. Evison, Haley Hopkinson here with you all week for a selection of games on the 15U boys side. Jackson Vidori and Cole Hayes on the other side doing the 15U women's games. British Columbia and Ontario, the third game of the day. To recap early on, New Brunswick defeated Newfoundland and Labrador 78-67. That game going to overtime. And then PEI took down Saskatchewan 80-77.
Yeah, that was a great game. Saw the end of that one before this game here. A ton of competitive games here. And at the beginning of this one, it looked like it could be competitive as well. In the first quarter, it was a very close one. But then the second that Ontario put that press on them, BC was never able to kind of adjust to that in this one. And we're seeing the consequences of it.
Shot from deep off the mark and into the hands of Thomas Stroman. He finds Gavante Walters. Nice block at the top there. On the take attempt from Jordan Osagi. Tried to put his defender in the weight room. No luck. Walters now with it. Working one-on-one. Gets to the rack. Can't complete the play. Mason Knorr doing a good job staying in front of him. Back the other way. That one left short out of the hands of Hunter Siebert. Osage. Another shot clock issue. They're going to bring it down to 11. 8:55 to go in the fourth quarter. Osage works left. Thought about it. Keeps the dribble alive. Stroman forced out towards the perimeter. Walters wanted it. A little, too late. And again, a shot clock violation where not a single player on the offensive bench is shouting or counting down.
And that better be just the one time it happens throughout this Nationals, right? Everyone is a big part of this team, whether you're on the bench or on the court right now, because of situations just like that.
Kabir Dillon finds Mason Knorr, who dials it from deep and finds the bottom.
It's a great way to start it off. That was the 26th three-point attempt for BC in this game, 5th one to go in.
Brandon Clark gives it up. William Bapari knocked out of bounds. Ontario basketball. Coming up after this one, Team Quebec taking on Team Alberta.
Yep.
Haley and I will be here for that game, and then we'll join you tomorrow morning for the 9 o'clock tip-off from Durham College's gymnasium. So we're back and forth. They're in the same building.
Yes, but girls and boys switching back and forth between the gyms. Honestly, this morning I was so confused. I thought there were 2 different buildings.
What a take to the rack from Brandon Clark. He's feeling comfortable in his hometown from Oshawa, obviously. Plays with Canada Elite in the summertime, as many of these players do. Royal Crown is his school, known for their excellence as well in the OSBA. He steps out of bounds and turns it over. British Columbia ball. Knorr to trigger. Timeout Ontario. Head coach Yusri Salia wants to talk a few things over as we get closer and closer to the stretch of this game.
At this point here for BC, realistically, they're not going to be able to come back. But with this being the very first game of Nationals, they've got a long week ahead of them. If they can't kind of fix these little issues that they're having, they need to figure out what's the best way for them to be able to get the shots that they want when the other team is not allowing it. Team Ontario has done a fantastic job this whole game of not letting them get into the paint, not letting them drive to the net and get these shots that they're clearly wanting. And it's those three-pointers that are just really killing their game right now. They're using all these possessions on these shots that aren't landing, and you're going to run into this situation again, especially in a pool as difficult as this one. So what's the move when you can't, and the only thing they're giving you is around the perimeter?
I also want to end the game on a strong note. Obviously, like you said, the game is out of reach. But if you can win the last 7 minutes, come away with something to build on for tomorrow. And every team in this gymnasium is looking at Ontario's press and scheming up a couple of different ways to break it, you'd think.
Right, and it's for sure a disadvantage here for BC to have to face Ontario first when you have Alberta and you have Quebec sitting in the gym right now ready to play, saying, okay, this is what they're going to try to do to us later in the week. So, no, it's not the easiest situation for BC to walk into, but you're so right. It's about winning these last couple minutes here and going on a great run to just give yourself that hope that you need to get through the next couple days here.
Travel called, turnover, and Ontario will have the basketball. It's Clark on the baseline. British Columbia now picking up full court. Walters gets by Knorr, pulls it back, wants the screen. Stroman topside, already drained a 3 from there. Walters wanted it back, fakes a shot into the lane. The finger roll finish is a thing of beauty.
18 points for him, 20 for Shepard, 15 for Clark. Those 3 definitely showed up in this one. And one thing we know about Team Ontario as a whole is every game you'll get different guys stepping up. It's a part of their identity. We see it every year, so I'm excited to see who's going to be next to do that for them.
Noor doing his very best to keep Walters in front of him. Get those feet moving. Runs into a screen by Stroman. Nice roll. Nice find. That's good two-man basketball right there. Hesitation. Shot just left a little short from Nathaniel Osei-Bodu. Substitutions, British Columbia bringing in Mahir Julka, and Ontario brings back Rudnick and Badeo. It's a minute past 3 on Monday, August 4th, the holiday Monday. We appreciate you tuning in on Canada Basketball on YouTube from wherever you're tuning in from. The pick and roll not there that time. Julka comes away with the steal. Over the timeline. Kicks it out. Blocked. Rudnick right in the face of Noor. Sends that out of bounds. Noor around the screen, kicks it out. Top side, Julka elevates. Badeo working down the left-hand side. Underneath the dump off. Another 2 points for Jorgen Osage. Osei-Bodu gives it up to Noor, who finds Julka top side. Dillon puts it to the deck, gets the tough floater. Five and a half left to go. Badeo, top side, Stroman from deep again. That's off the left iron. Osage, rebound. The putback is good. Quick ahead. Dollywall with the step through, left hand too strong. The steal attempt from Dillon. Scratch that from Osei-Bodu. Comes up empty-handed. Badeo turns the corner, kicks it out. Osage bottoms a three.
Third made three for Ontario today, but they just simply haven't needed that aspect of their game.
Osei-Bodu into the lane, blocked at the top by Stroman.
I think Stroman's been very impressive. We saw a lot of this last year where the younger guys who are extremely tall, I mean, Stroman being 6'9", not playing big, right? But I think he's done a good job of doing that and playing to his size.
Dollywall accepts the pass from Noor and sees it through with the right hand. All the way to the rack. The tip-in is going to be good for William Bopare. Just started teetering on falling outside of the rim.
Yep.
And in that scenario, you can touch the ball. Nice take to the rack from Dillon. Doesn't get it to go. The left-handed hook shot.
It was great awareness on that pass play. But, yeah, it looks like Ontario will be hitting those triple digits again. We know they love to be there.
Cleaning up the glass. Jordan Osage again putting in work down low. Noor showing off some ball handling skills. Gets to the rack, steps through, kicks it out. Osei-Bodu drains the three. Team Ontario take a timeout, looking to get some fresh legs onto the court for the remaining 2:48, up 97-46, the first game of this national championships that has been lopsided. The first two, like we said, really closely contested matches. New Brunswick taken to overtime against Newfoundland. They win 78-67. Saskatchewan fall to PEI 80-77. This one, a completely different story. First half, suffocating press from Team Ontario. British Columbia not able to make that adjustment in time to keep themselves within striking distance.
Yeah, and this is a dream scenario here for Team Ontario. They're going to have everybody touch the court today, getting ready for the difficult week that's going to come ahead. Having the comfort of a 50-point lead here, 51-point lead, they'll be able to try out different things and really just play experimentally here. Figure out what's going to be working the best for them. They know that that press is deadly. But it's just these transition buckets that are coming so incredibly easy to them.
So Ontario currently have 3 players in double digits. Another 4 that are a bucket away from being in double digits. And when you have that many players that can score the basketball at that high of a clip, obviously a force to be reckoned with.
Yep, and for BC, it's only going to be Logan Spack in double digits with only 10.
And he got handcuffed with those 3 fouls.
Yeah.
Ahika Metalor did not reestablish himself inside the field of play before retrieving that offensive rebound, so that's a turnover. It's going to be a side out.
Yeah, Team Ontario still with their fair share of turnovers in this one. They'll have 11. Obviously, we know the way that their coaches like to run things. They're hoping to not have a single turnover, so still a lot for them to work out. This is only the start for Team Ontario. We know that there's a lot more for them to learn and to figure out.
Pass to the corner, not right in the pocket. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Knorr has to find a teammate. It's good if it goes, and it goes for Nathaniel Osei-Bodu. 6'2" small forward out of Burnaby. Drains the 3. We are under 2 minutes left to play in the third game of the day between Ontario and British Columbia. It's the captain of Team Ontario, Badejo, kicking it back out top side. That 3 from Jalen Shepard, just short. Here's Dylan working on the far side. He gives it up. Osei-Bodu dribbles it off his foot. Badejo, quick ahead. Elijah Hammond throws it down. The handoff, almost intercepted there. A deep 3 from Dylan, back iron. Badejo calmly dribbles it towards the timeline as we approach 1 minute remaining in the contest. There's a lane. He takes it and lays it in with the right hand, and there it is, the triple digits you were talking about, Haley. 101 points put down for Team Ontario. Dylan, sidestep, 3, bottom. Shepard brings it over the timeline. Works it back to the middle. Ahika Metalor, short rims it, gets his own rebound. Sends it out to Hammond. He brings it up and under and gets 2 more for himself. He's got 12 points to go with 6 boards and an assist.
Yeah, he's had a very explosive game in the first half, mainly just cleaning up the shots that weren't really falling.
And as the final buzzer goes, the final score is 103 for Team Ontario, 51 for British Columbia. Lots of lessons to take from this contest for British Columbia. Ontario out to an early favorites position to repeat as champions here for this tournament. Final thoughts, Haley, before we sign off and get prepared for Alberta, Quebec.
Well, I think the main thing that Ontario needs to take away from this is that they know that that press is deadly. It's going to continue to work for them. Of course, they're still going to want to limit their turnovers, ending with 10 of those. And for BC, figuring out how they're going to be able to get the shots that they want. They're ending with 7 for 32 from the three, but those threes came late in the game here when the game was already out of reach. They had a very long stretch of none of those going in. So how are we going to figure out to get the shots that we want when we simply can't get it against the defense?
That will do it for this game. We are going to sign off and come back. Alberta and Quebec next on the slate. Tune into that one. It's bound to be a good one as Pool A wraps up day one here from Ontario Tech University. You're watching the Canadian National Basketball Championships, the 15Us here at Ontario Tech University on Canada Basketball YouTube.